Effective altruism, next time on Philosophy Talk.
Listen to Philosophy Talk every Tuesday at noon on KSJE 90.9 FM, Farmington. .50 a.m. It is Monday morning on KSJE. It's time for our Monday Reboot segment. That's when I get to talk technology with my guest, Lewis Campbell from Cintigy Computer Systems here in Farmington. Lewis is joining us remotely this morning, but we should have him on the screen. There he is right now. Good morning. Good morning, Lewis. Can you hear us? Doesn't look like Lewis is able to hear us yet this morning, so we will keep trying. Lewis, checking in with you to see if you can hear us this morning. Good morning. Well, let's see what we can come up with. Stand by, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment.
Event. The New Mexico Mission of Mercy is seeking volunteers for our 2-day free dental and medical clinic, September 23rd and 24th at San Juan County McGee Park. From translators to patient registration to general cleanup, volunteers are critical for our success. Individuals and organizations who wish to volunteer can visit nmdentalfoundation.org to register. Registration for volunteers is required and closes September 6th. The New Mexico Mission of Mercy is a program of the New Mexico Dental Association Foundation in partnership with the New Mexico Dental Association. Prime event sponsor, San Juan County.
KSJE is proud to support the Summer Terrace Concert Series, Saturdays at the Farmington Museum. Saturday, August 20th, Rock, Blues, and Country with Black Velvet. Saturday, August 27th, Jazz with Didat. The Summer Terrace Concert Series at the Farmington Museum, 3041 East Main Street, Saturdays this summer from 6 to 7:30 p.m. San Juan Regional Medical Center is your community hospital, committed to making life better for the communities we are privileged to serve. In fact, better is our mission, improving lives through personalized health and care. What matters most to our patients matters most to us, offering a comprehensive range of inpatient, outpatient, and emergency care services so you can get the quality care you need right here at home. San Juan Regional Medical Center, celebrating life better here since 1910. All right, let's try take two and see if Lewis Campbell can see us and hear us this morning as we go to him. He is smiling, so that tells me that he can at least hear me. Can we hear him? Good morning.
Hello.
There he is. All right.
Thanks.
Everything is working this time, so good to see you, and great to have you on the program as always. You had sent me a link of a story to talk about this morning about, oh gosh, I've already now spaced it here.
It's the new Selena album.
That's right.
For those of you who don't know who Selena is, a very famous, they call her Tejano, basically a Mexican-American singer from way back in the 80s that was, tragically her life was cut short when she was young, and,
Right.
she posthumously became very famous. And so the reason I bring this into the discussion today is because this new album, actually, her family decided to have her her voice digitally aged, since she passed away, right? She's not around to make new recordings. So this
Right.
album is a number of mixes of some of her, very well-known songs with her voice digitally aged. It's called Moonchild, and it's kind of sparked a little bit more of the debate about, people either being for or against this idea of not only posthumously reviving some of these singers from the afterlife, but manipulating their voices in ways to achieve different things. So the article's interesting. It has a mix of people who fans of Selena particularly, who either agree or don't agree with this approach. But it's something to be aware of and be cognizant of in today's environment, and some of the things we're able to do with
Right.
and this is about voice, right? But
Yeah.
there's all the controversy too about deep fakes in terms of video, and all the things you and I have discussed before that you can do with video as well as audio. anymore.
Very true. Very true. Well, and at least I guess the good news is that they're disclosing it, right? I don't know if there's anything that they should do that, of course, but maybe there's other folks that maybe would think about doing that, like you mentioned with the deep fakes and some of the other stuff that's maybe possible to happen online. And so, but it's caused, as you said, a debate about, these artists and whether, I don't even know how you would digitally age a voice, but I'm sure someone's figured that out.
Well, in the article, they talk about basically the main thing is that they moved the voice a little bit lower in pitch and did some other minor things, but apparently that's the main change that was made.
Okay. Well, that kind of makes sense. The other story hitting the news this morning, of course, this NASA was going to launch this Artemis rocket, but it's been delayed because of some engine issues, and so, but that is kind of the first step in getting maybe people back to the moon, right? Have you been following that?
Yeah, and I'm really excited about this. It would be nice. I've always been one of those people that thought it was tragic and, quite frankly, in my opinion, stupid that we didn't keep going to the moon. I understand it had a lot to do with money and budget and the public not being as excited about it as before, but there's lots of other reasons. There's a ton of things, in my opinion, ton of reasons we should be exploring space. And I know it's a controversy. I know there's a lot of people that believe that money should be better spent on the ground, and I understand that. But that I think there's a lot of reasons we should have continued exploring space, and we should continue. So it's kind of nice to see this going on, and
right.
And I hope it continues.
Yeah, I'm curious to kind of see more of the mission, right, and what they've got planned, and this is an unmanned rocket launch when it does go off to kind of test this new system, right, and see if everything works the way they think it's going to work. Some of the technologies that have advanced, we no longer have to send up monkeys or animals to see how they're going to do. We can sensor and check and see what the cabin pressure is and these types of things before we send humans up in these capsules. So it will be kind of cool to see. And then, of course, see what happens with men on the moon again as maybe a base to then launch a mission to Mars. I think is kind of the ultimate goal, right, for future exploration.
Yep. Well, and it's good too to see private industry. I'm
true.
I go back and forth about people like Jeff Bezos and what's his face?
Elon Musk, our favorite topic on this segment.
But
yes.
I am glad that they're doing this kind of stuff. I'm glad it's more than just NASA, and I'm glad that it's happening. I hope that I live long enough to see human beings traipsing around on Mars. But either way, as long as we keep going, I think to me that's really important.
Right. So. Definitely. Well, and you mentioned the budget, and some folks think it's maybe too expensive for the federal government to spend and pay for all of those types of missions, and so here we have a mission that's kind of got some private investment as well. So this may be the way to do these things going forward, so the government isn't paying the full cost of these types of things. What else?
And it's good to have private industry involved in this as well.
Right. Right. What else have you noticed in last week?
Well, we've got Twitter. Interestingly enough, there's all this controversy, right, about spam on Twitter, and this is kind of the basis for Elon Musk. His latest pullout. To me, he keeps going back and forth, right? I want to own Twitter. Wait, I don't want to own Twitter. Wait, I want to own Twitter.
Right. He claims that there's a lot of fake accounts, right?
Right. So a lot of it is around spam. So a judge earlier this week, I believe, or last week, it has basically ordered Twitter executives to provide more spam account data to Elon Musk lawyers around this. So the story keeps going, right? There's this law out there now. It's basically a whistleblower law for cybersecurity the government has implemented. This is something I've been keeping track of pretty steadily, where if you are an employee of a company and you see that the company is willfully violating federal cybersecurity laws, you can file suit on behalf of the government, and any NDAs you've signed are null and void. So you're not, as long as the information you're taking from the company is direct evidence of what you're claiming, right? So they can't be protected by non-disclosure agreements. This is a pretty this is a law with a lot of teeth in it, right? There's
Right.
a company called Rocketdyne that already had to settle out of court for $2.5 million based on a $26 billion lawsuit
Wow.
under this law. And Twitter now has had the same thing. There's a gentleman named Peter Zatko who filed a whistleblower complaint and basically said that Twitter was lying about stuff to Elon Musk. And so as a result of this now, it's put fuel on the fire to Elon Musk's, fight with Twitter, and the judge is ordering that basically Twitter return in all this spam, right? So it's interesting to see how this is playing out,
Yeah.
and to see where this is going to go in the long run.
Very much so. All right. Well, we'll see what happens. And that is all the time we have this week for our segment, Lewis. So thank you very much for joining me.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great week.
All right. You too. That is Lewis Campbell from Cintigy Computer Systems. He's my guest every Monday right here on KSJE Farmington.
Expand your knowledge with the Academic Minute. Each day, travel with us around the world to learn what professors